Welcome back. China researchers conducting over 20 war game simulations. They claim that the country's hypersonic missiles could destroy our Navy's Gerald R. Ford carrier fleet in the South China Sea. This is the first time China has made results of a simulated strike against a U.S. carrier public. We are also learning of a Chinese government hacking group infiltrating critical infrastructure and communication systems through Microsoft. And this is happening in Guam, a key location for an American military response if China were to invade Taiwan. Joining me right now is Senate Foreign Relations Committee member and former Japan ambassador Bill Hagerty. Senator, it's great to see you this weekend. Welcome.
Likewise, Maria. It's always good to be with you.
So what are your thoughts here on these provocations, this simulation game from China?
I think it just further underscores, Maria, that the world needs a strong America. And the fact is that since Afghanistan, we've been displaying weakness. China's seeing that void. They're stepping up and they're putting more and more confrontational pressure on that region. They've made their goals very clear in terms of their desire to bring Taiwan back into the fold of China. What they're seeing right now is an opportunity, a moment of weakness in this administration. America stepping back from the stage at a time we should be stepping forward. And they're taking full advantage of that. I'm shocked to see the level of aggression. But again, I've been dealing with China for a long time. They look for advantage and they'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, the level of aggression also is stunning, given that there's no response from the United States over and over again. We had a surveillance balloon traverse the country for a week, no response. You had a cover-up of COVID-19, no response. We don't even talk about it anymore. And now you've got these stories. Should the U.S. be doing anything to push back? I mean, Gina Raimondo, the Commerce Secretary, had a dinner with her counterpart in Washington this week. It feels like the U.S. is always on defense.
It's amazing. I mean, we've actually seen the State Department pulling down critical statements. You know, when the Treasury Secretary puts out a sanction that names a Chinese company for sending fentanyl precursors into America and into Mexico, our State Department actually rips that out of their messaging because they don't want to offend, I presume. They don't want to offend the Chinese. They're still trying to get some type of high-level meetings, and they're willing to sacrifice our strength for that. I think it's absolutely the wrong way to be dealing with this. We should be dealing from a position of strength and a position of power.
Well, what about, revoking the most favored trade status that China continues to enjoy?
I tell you that their participation in the WTO, the fact that we still allow them to call themselves a developed nation so they can borrow from the World Bank, all of these things need to be addressed in a diplomatic fashion. And instead of doing that, again, we're just finding ourselves on defense, as you say, and letting the Chinese, again, take a very predatory posture, again, in their region, but also, as you mentioned, flying balloons over our country, attacking our systems with hackers. They're taking every opportunity they can to put pressure on America.
Yeah, it's totally disturbing to see this in action in terms of a response. But I want to switch gears, ask you about the U.S. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis obviously joining the 2024 race for president this week. I know that you've endorsed President Trump for re-election, and Trump is still in the lead, according to the polls. But there's this mega donor, Hal Lampert, is joining others, a number of former Trump supporters, he says, in supporting DeSantis. Watch this.
Donald Trump can only serve one term. He'll effectively be a lame duck almost on day one if he were to win. But I don't think he can win the general. That's the number two reason. I don't think he can win the general. It's time to move on to the next generation. And Governor DeSantis is a vision forward versus, hashing out things from the past.
He was on with Neil Cavuto this week. Senator, your thoughts? Are you still, has anything changed? Are you still supporting Trump?
Absolutely. Well, Maria, it's just as we said in the beginning, dealing with China. We need a strong America right now. President Trump has demonstrated his ability to project strength. I served in his administration. I was the United States ambassador to Japan in that region. We saw a critical change from the Obama administration to the Trump administration in terms of our posture there and in terms of China's willingness to step back. We put in place the phase one treaty there. We dealt with North Korea in a way that had to be done. Now North Korea is right back at it again. President Trump knows how to project strength and demonstrate strength.
Yeah.
When I see candidates like Ron DeSantis come in, I say, look, we've got a strong field of Republican contenders, any one of which would be better than Joe Biden by a long shot.
Yeah, well, look, we know that Joe Biden walked into the White House and started undoing everything that President Trump did. And the first thing he did was cancel the China initiative. This was a Trump policy that was working. We were looking at indictments of people who were accepting money from communist China to send back our intellectual property.
And if you think back to 2015 when President Trump first began to talk about China, I think he awakened America. He
Yeah.
awakened the world to the predatory posture that China has adopted. Now we all know what we're dealing with China, and we need that sort of strength projected yet again. The Biden administration is conflicted in so many ways in terms of trying to deal with China, and we've seen weakness being, again, that opportunity is being captured by China right now as they step up their aggression.
Yeah,
we need to push back.
The second thing that Joe Biden did was waive sanctions on Nord Stream 2. I don't know what interest the United States had in waiving sanctions of Putin's pipeline into Europe. That was also extraordinary. Senator, it's always a pleasure. Thanks so much.